welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Emily with Ride Key Plans, and it is time for us to discuss February TBRs. So it's currently, let's see, what day is today? Today is actually the 27th of January. I have one book that I am finishing, and I have one more book that I want to start to wrap up my January TBR. And I will be sharing with you guys next week what my stats were for the first month of the year. I'm really excited for all of the books that I read and to talk about what my top favorites were for the month. But I want to talk about February today because why not, right? So let's go ahead and talk about February TBR. Now, I will be sure to link in the cards, but I believe a few days ago, I let you guys know what books that I recently got from the library. So, and I'll show you guys the full stack. I have 10 books here from my local library, and all of these books are going to be a part of my February TBR, right? So these books, I would love to dig into every single one of those, but I didn't want to only focus on library books because you guys see all this, right? Like, this is only 2 bookcases. I have 2 other bookcases full of books, plus I have a book cart full of books. So I want to make sure that instead of just giving myself 10 books to read, to choose from, I like options. So I actually went ahead and, thanks to my Always Fully Booked planner, which they are sold, Little Inkling's design is sold out of these, but I do believe that the novel companions are available. So I will go ahead and link those down below if you want to get one of those. It's basically the book planner, but it's completely undated and there are no weekly spreads. But in my Always Fully Booked planner, I did go ahead and fill out my to be read list for the month. And then I also did annotate here what my library books are. So right now we are going to go through the books that I want to read next month. I don't know how many I'll get through, but again, I like options. So let's get into this lovely stack here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring it over and I'll show you guys the stack, all 11 books. So we are actually gonna start with the bottom and work our way up. So the first book is, I believe this is a book debut. So this is from a debut author. Really excited, and this is actually my book of the month. I'm really gonna try and read my book of the month every month, so we have that. But I will be reading Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. Very excited. This is a non-binary romance, so very excited to read this. And it also has a food element into it, and I love a good food element romance. Very excited to read this one. The cover is absolutely gorgeous, and I did do a little reading up on this because some people were able to read it prior to its release, and it's gotten great reviews on Goodreads. So Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. I will be reading this one. So that's exciting. The next one I will be reading is, again, this is one that I got from the library a bunch of times and I just never got around to reading it, and then I ended up buying it at Barnes & Noble. Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. I have heard fantastic things about this book, and I know Husband Material is coming out in August. So I really want to get this one read. This is a LGBTQIA plus romance set in London. Very excited to read this. And also, this one will meet my Around the World challenge in my Always Fully Booked planner. So very excited to get this one read. So that one's on the docket. The next one is another one by my girl Megan Hart. So I did read the first in the series this month in January, and that was Tempted. Now we're going to the second book in the series, which is the Alex Kennedy series, and we're reading Naked by Megan Hart. I really liked Tempted, and I've already read Vanilla, so this is basically me wrapping up this series. I'm very excited. This is basically about Alex and how he is going to work to move on from his relationship with James and Annie. Also, this is a biracial romance. So you guys already know, biracial romance novels, I'm here for it. So very excited to read the next one in this series. Okay, so the next two books are actually by the same author, but I am reading them this month, or well, next month, because they are basically the next in the series. So the first one is Headmaster, which is the second book in the Lessons from the Rack series. I read the first one, Master Professor, and I really enjoyed it. This one is actually about the guy that runs these schools. So basically, this is a school in Seattle that it's in Portland, that basically teaches people how to either embrace their dominant or submissive tendencies and behaviors. So this is actually about the guy that started the school and then one of the instructors. They actually have a pretty complicated past. So very excited to dig into this one by Tara Sumi. And I am currently reading The Submissive right now. I'm rereading it as a buddy read with a really good friend of mine. And I can't read The Submissive without next going to The Dominant by Tara Sumi. So I have read this entire Submissive series. So I've read all 12 books, and this one was my favorite. This is basically The Submissive from Nathaniel's perspective. And I'm really excited to read this book again. I should finish The Submissive either today or tomorrow, but I will be reading The Dominant next month. The next one is one of my nonfiction picks for the month. I've already started it, so you guys can see the page flags, but I will be reading Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women That a Movement Forgot by Mikki, Kendall. I have this also on audio, and so more likely what I will do with this one is I will be doing a read-along. The first chapter of this book was phenomenal, as you guys can see, because I put so many page flags on it, but I'm really excited to read this. Also, I will be referencing some of these things because I'm doing a Black History project at work, and this book is definitely on my recommended reading list. So really excited to read that one. The next one is one that I got randomly, and this is one I picked the book. I chose a book by its cover. I know you're really not supposed to do that, but I did it anyway. And we are going to be reading The Principal's Office by Jasmine Haynes. This will be the first one that I am reading by her. So this is going to be another new to me author. I am really not sure what this book is about, but I do believe it has to do with a parent and the principal at a school. So I believe that they get into some hijinks and have a pretty interesting relationship, and I'm excited to dive in. I love reading new authors. So, and actually, like, the majority of the books that I picked from both lists from the library and the ones that I have here at the house aren't like new authors to me. So I'm really excited to read this one. And again, the cover is pretty nice. It's pretty, this is giving me spicy vibes. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to go ahead and get this one read. Next book is the first in the Bound series by Lorelei James. The Mastered series by Lorelei James. This one is called Bound. This one is basically about a woman that is just getting out of a abusive relationship, and she, I believe, ends up having a romantic relationship with her sensei. So really excited to read this one. Again, I have never read anything by Lorelei James, so I am very excited to dig into this. I actually have the entire series. I got them for like super cheap at one of my local reused bookstores, so I'm really excited to read and dig into this. I do believe there are 5 books in the entire series, so this will be the first one. Next is a reread for me, but you guys, I read this book back in high school. Well, actually, the next 2 books I actually read in high school. So really excited to just see what I remember and if I like the book as much back then as I would now, I guess. But anyway, the first one is Liar's Game by Jerome Dickey. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jerome Dickey is a phenomenal author. He writes a lot of different urban romance, and they're so good. I've read quite a few of his books. I haven't read a lot of them over the years, and unfortunately, Jerome Dickey passed last year. But this was the first book of his that I read, and I absolutely adored it. I believe it was in my mom's collection, and I read it, and I definitely wasn't supposed to. This book was actually originally published in, 2002. So I think I was a sophomore in high school when I read this book. So I'm very excited to read this one. I do believe that this is about Dana and Vince. I don't really remember a lot, so it'll be nice to read this one and go through it again. And last but not least, this is the very first romance that I ever read. I know because I was in high school when I read this book. I was in sophomore year of high school. I read this and I just picked it up out of my mom's collection and I was like, oh my God. And I'm actually thinking about doing a read along with this book this month because I want to do a read along once a month. And that is, don't make fun of me because of the cover, okay? Tender is the Storm by Johanna Lindsay. Yes, that is a half-naked man and a damsel in distress. From what I remember about this book, and this is actually a new copy. I don't know where my original copy is, but I do know that I ended up getting the cover ripped off, and then I think it just got lost in the many moves that we've done all over the country over the last few years. But this is basically about a woman that is trying to get away from her controlling father that wants to basically get her hooked up in an arranged marriage. So she actually submits an application to be a mail order bride. And the guy in the book, so her name is Charisse, and Lucas basically answers the letter on behalf of his brother, and he leads her to believe, because she's so beautiful, that she is his mail order bride. And if I remember correctly, they end up going on like this journey across the West. This is also a historical fiction, so I believe this takes place in like the 1800s. And yeah, I do remember a lot happens in this book. 1874, Arizona. So I'm really excited to read this again. I read this when I was 16 years old. I will be doing a read along with it and giving you guys an update on what it's like to reread the first romance I have ever read. So very excited. So that is it. That is all the books, you guys. This is my goodness. This is the full list of books that I want to read. I will be picking from in the month of February, and I'm really excited. So tell me, of this lovely stack here, what have you read? Tell me, have you read any of these books? Did you like them? Are any of these on your TBR, not only for the month, but also for the year? Let me know. I'd love to hear that in the comments. And that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure that you do subscribe to this channel so that way you will get more bookish, craft, and planning content from me. If you like this video, make sure that you do give it a thumbs up. And please make sure that you do bump on over to Instagram and follow me at Radkey Plans. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you on my next video. Bye.